Hi everybody, welcome back to my kitchen for another Tasty Tuesday. And I don't know, like more than a year ago, we started making homemade sauerkraut, which we love, and it's super easy. And in fact, if you go back to Tasty Tuesday, probably in May, you can see on our YouTube channel how to make sauerkraut, very simple. So we have sauerkraut on hand all the time, and so I've been coming up with ways to use sauerkraut. And this summer, my mother-in-law shared with me a recipe where you put pork ribs on top of sauerkraut and bake it in the oven, and the sauerkraut actually just kind of steams the ribs. Super delicious. And then that reminded me of a dish we had in Bulgaria where we had, it was either a pork knuckle or pork shank, I think it was probably a pork shank, served over a bed of cooked cabbage. I don't think it was sauerkraut, it wasn't sour, but it was braised cabbage. And so I went in search of a recipe for that, and what I found is that in Eastern European countries, Bulgaria, Germany, pork and sauerkraut is often served on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. It's considered good luck. Well, we missed that, but we could always use a little more luck in 2021. So let's learn how to make a version of several recipes that I found on Pinterest, similar to what I had in Bulgaria. However, we are using pork tenderloin today. It doesn't have a bone in it, and so that means it will dry out much quicker than something you're cooking with a bone. So be careful with that. But the first thing we're going to do with our pork tenderloin is I have put some salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika on it. I didn't measure, I just shook it all on there. I have my cast iron skillet heating up on the stove with a little bit of oil, and I also have my oven heating to 325 degrees. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take my tenderloins and just brown them in the cast iron skillet. It might be a little hot. Okay, so our tenderloins have been browned, and meanwhile in this pan I have 2 cups of sauerkraut, half of a red onion that's sliced thin, 1 peeled whole apple. I used a Fuji apple and sliced. And in the bottom of this baking dish, I actually put a little bit of cooking oil too to keep it from sticking. So that is all ready to go. And now our tenderloins are going to go. Just nestle them on top. Like so. And in this measuring cup, I have a fourth of a cup of maple syrup, 1 tablespoon of molasses, and a big tablespoon, probably more like 1.5, of stone ground mustard. That is pouring over the top of the pork tenderloin. That looks tasty. I'm going to tint this with foil. It's going to go into the oven at 325 for probably 30 minutes, maybe only 20. I'm going to watch it closely, and then I'll come back and show you how this very simple recipe is served. So our pork tenderloin on top of the sauerkraut actually stayed in the oven longer than I thought it was going to, and I increased the temperature too. 325 just wasn't doing it because I really wanted this lovely collection of goodies under here to get hot enough to steam the meat. I took it to 375 and then took it to 425 before I really got the amount of bubbling in this that I wanted. So we're done here. and actually this pork will continue to cook for a little while. So I am going to slice it up and show you how, ooh, that looks lovely, show you how I'm going to present it. We have a guest coming tonight, my cousin. She's going to stay in our house as a house sitter, and because we are headed to the desert. And so this is our dinner tonight. Ooh, boy, that looks really moist and yummy. So, and it smells good too, wow. I think that maple syrup, molasses, and mustard combination sounds really strange, but boy, I can smell it and I think it's gonna be really good. So, this, even after cutting it, it will continue to cook just a little bit. So now I'm going to take these, let's see, I'm going to use this one. So again, this is about 2 cups of sauerkraut, 1 Fuji apple, which I peeled and sliced, cored, peeled, and sliced, 1/2 of a red onion. We used our homemade sauerkraut. You don't have to. Store-bought would be okay. So this is pretty wet. I didn't add any water to it, but it's still pretty wet, and I don't want this swimming in liquid. So I'm using a spoon that has holes in it here. All right. And then we're going to nestle our beautiful pork tenderloin right here on top. Smells really good. Oops. I'm going to tint it with some foil again until it's time to eat. There it is. Can you see it? I don't have a name for this dish, but it's something that's very similar to what we ate in Bulgaria. It's also popular in many Eastern European countries and in Germany. And again, if you serve this on New Year's, it's supposed to bring good luck. But we're hoping serving it today is also going to bring us good luck for 2021. So, hope you try this very easy, very fast recipe, and we'll see you again next Tuesday. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen.